Yodak! I'm Yodak. How you guys been? Today we will talk about specifically Northern Realms top 5 gold and bronze cards because I have been requested. I have been summoned and I have to answer the call. Okay, we will start with Roach. If you happen to realize Gwent is a card game where you get to play only one card per turn, so naturally being able to play two cards has always been a strong play in general. Combined with pincer maneuver into hand-guided sword, Roach lets you play 4 cards per turn for the price of 1. Obviously, if these cards are engines, you are going to get more value from them because it's quite unlikely for them to answer all of them at once. And that means more engines surviving, and more engines surviving, more points, and more points winning the game. Let's go, baby! The second one is Volleyball. It's good in an engine deck, it's good in a mid-range deck, but generally it's just a good card, so there is not really a lot of reason for not to use Volleyball. Man, Volleyball is pretty cool. Philippa. There are not a lot of cards like Philippa in Gwent because Philippa is kind of a special case. You see, she's blind, so that's why she can't really aim. I mean, that's the lore part of it. She doesn't see what she's aiming at, so she just kills everything. That's kind of what happens in the game too. She just kills everything because she just has too much damage on a one body. For example, your opponent play 2 engines per turn with Portal. There are not a lot of cards that can answer that, or you cannot really answer that without using your leader's ability. Even Syndicate can't answer that, and Syndicate is pretty good. So, Philippa destroys engines. Philippa, at worst, it gets you 13 value. Maybe because of the armor, maybe you lose some of the points, or because of the RNG, that could also happen. But generally, the RNG can be manipulated, can be controlled, so you can do whatever you want. Those are the two words that means the same thing, by the way. Good job, Udak. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say here, Philippa is great. And it's actually, when I come to think of it, it's actually going to win you more games in the low ranks, more than Roach. I mean, being able to play 2 engines sounds great, but if you don't have hand guide sword, maybe, I don't know. And the other card is Baron. Pooh. Baron is really great against tall units, right? We all know that, but it's also actually good against decks that doesn't really go tall, because you can most of the time use it to reset your own units that are damaged, and generally considering you will probably have some damaged units or your opponent will have boosted units, because you know that's usually what happens with the decks. And the defender, since this is for new players, I thought maybe most of the players doesn't really know how to answer the defender, which and come to think of it, even if you are like a pro player, if you don't have the purifier in your hand, you will still be unable to answer most of the engines he plays, and that will put you in a really bad situation, because most of the people play defender with the pincer maneuver, which makes them lets them enable to play their engines for one more turn, and sometimes that can be game winning. Okay, let's talk about bronze cards. So the thing with Northern Realms, it actually has a lot of individual good gold cards. Like this list wouldn't be this easy with the Nymph card because you have to think about the synergies, but you can put Philippa in every Northern Realms deck and you will be okay with it. Okay, the first bronze card is Redanian Archer. Pooh. Redanian archers are just good, man. There is technically only one card in the game that trades up. Trading up means when you remove a unit and you still have points left, by the way. The more you know. For example, when you use One-Eyed Batsy, you remove the engine, but you also put 4 points in your deck. And another example, when you use Alzrush Thunder, you just remove the engine and you don't put points on your deck. So it trades even most of the time. Sometimes because it has Zeal, it actually deals 1 damage before it dies. So it depends on who goes first. Sometimes it trades down, sometimes it just trades even, you know. That's life. You gotta work it out, man. You gotta use your mind. Gwent is a game of minds. A battle between 2 great minds of the century. Shinmari, come at me, brother. And the other card is Arbalist. Okay, so the thing with Arbalist, they're really easy to remove, right? Like, they're just only 3 points. But with the Portal, they're really good, right? Because it's really hard to remove two engines in one turn. Like we talked about it like 5 seconds ago. I don't know, just go back, watch it again if you don't understand. It's not my fault, man. Come on, I'm trying here. And when you play the Portal, you most of the time like okay with one of them dying already. So I mean, of course you would want them to live. They are your units. They are like your children. But sometimes they just don't live. And the other card is Aretuza Adapt. Like the thing with Aretuza Adapt, they're versatile, so you can use it just whatever you need on the board. For example, it might be damage, it might be boost. And if you use it with Hubert or Shani, you will get 2 points for the price of 1. And the last bronze card of Northern Realms will be Redanian Knights. I actually couldn't find anything for number 5, so I just put Redanian Knights. When you think about it, they're really good. Like, think about low MMR wise. So people, if they don't remove it with 1 card and deal damage to it, you're basically playing the 4 per vision 5 points, and that's not that bad. I mean, it's not ideal, but it's still good because that damage can be useful if it's the right day. And usually people will try to get rid of it most of the time, and usually that damage will be probably useful in low ranks, right? So this is a top 5 list of gold and bronze cards of Northern Realms. If you like this video, you can actually click on like and be a champ, be a good little sport. So thank you so much for watching, and if you want any more of this, why would you? I don't really understand, but if you want, please let me know on the comments, so I feel like I'm actually talking to people.